representing the Cape Cod Fighting Alliance, he is the beast from Hollywood East, Michael the Hammer Mulligan.
Hey folks, Michael the Hammer Mulligan here with our first televised episode of Fireside. Today we got a couple of great guys. One of them is Michael Loco Gresh, basically a local legend, very well liked in the sport, very well known in the sport. He trains at and teaches, actually. He's the head trainer at Cape Cod Fighting Alliance in Plymouth. He does have a great reputation as a fighter. He's great inside the cage. I'm happy to have him here. He's just a wealth of knowledge. You know, I'm a fan of mixed martial arts. I was a pro fighter, also retired. And he knows just so much about this sport. So I'm glad to have him here. We're going to have him once a month. So that's Michael Lobo Gresh. Also today we have Cristian, heavy metal morecraft. Now Cristian is a UFC fighter. He started off at the Dungeon Down Cape training. He went to Cape Cod Fighting Alliance, trained there for a little while. Went to City of Tong a little bit with Michael, and then he went to New York. You know, he needed to kind of get out of Dodge and do some training up there where it was nice and quiet. And had a few fights up there. He's doing well, and he just signed another 4-fight contract. So we're happy to have him here, and I hope you enjoy the show. Hey folks, here we are for another Fireside Chat. Michael the Hammer Mulligan and Michael Lobo Gresh. What's up, Michael?
Hammer, what's up, buddy?
What's going on?
Nice to see you again.
Listen, I was hurt. I tore a muscle back probably a year ago, June, and then I had a back operation in March. And tonight's the first night I went down to train Mike and the guys doing some rolling. And my God, these kids, Mike, it's amazing. I mean, it's like, I remember Jason when he was back when he was smaller, and tonight he was schooling me. I'm 300 pounds, and he's like, you know, he wasn't killing me, but I mean, he was doing stuff that I just never thought he could do.
You know, first of all, you're coming off a rehab off your back, so it's going to be a little, you know, you got to just little steps getting back.
Yeah,
Number one,
it wasn't about me; it was about them. Was my point.
The kids are growing. I mean, these kids are learning every week, and they're wrestling and they're jujitsu and they're putting it together, and it's a whole crop of new kids coming up, like your son, for example. I got a couple younger kids that are really, wow, they're going to be unbelievable.
Yeah,
they're going to be unbelievable.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are.
So it's a new generation of MMA fighters coming up, and it's exciting, Mike. You know,
we walked in this place tonight and we see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 belts on the wall. We see another brand new belt, Chip Pollard.
Chip Pollard just brought back the CFFC belt, which is the Cage Fury Fighting Championship from New Jersey. Went down there as an underdog and beat 8-0 Joey Rivera on a week-and-a-half notice. This kid's
no joke.
He's unstoppable. He's probably the best striker in the Northeast right now in the 170 division. His wrestling's getting better every week.
Where's he get his patience? I mean, I've never seen a fighter that patient. That
Not
kid,
from me.
Yeah, I'm a Russian, and you know, this kid is just the most patient, laid-back guy. It looks like he's, you know,
he's a natural. That's what it is. He's a natural. You know, he's dedicated to the art form. His wrestling is getting better every week. He realizes his wrestling needs to be a little stepped up a little, and he stuffed a lot of those shots in the fight from patience. Right. He's a patient kid, and he took his time. He got taken down twice, but he got back up twice.
Yep.
He's a good fighter.
Yeah, even when he was on the ground, he looked like he was just he was so technical. He just didn't panic. He was just patient.
Yeah. He's a kid too. He's 23 years old.
Mike, this is your first time on the televised, you know, Fireside here. So give me a little background on you.
My background started training in 1973, Weichi-Ryu Karate.
100 years ago.
37 years ago, something like that. To do the math, but 1973, I hold 2 black belts in Weichi-Ryu Karate and Hawaiian Kempo. Trained with Mike Fernandez, Arthur Rabisa. I've trained with a lot of great, a lot of people. I've trained in Jeet Kune Do with Joe Maffey and from Waltham. A trainer under Mark Delagrati. I'm a level 2 trainer under him. Blue Mongo. Hopefully working towards my purple. I'm a black belt under Daniel Gracie and Banana.
I'm sorry, the purple is as a trainer?
It's a crew. It's a crew.
It's a
yes,
crew. Okay.
Which is a teacher.
Nice.
I hold a blue now, but I'm working towards my purple. I've been with Mark for about 8 years now, and like I said, training with Banana, Giuliano Coutinho. I'm a black belt under him and Cacao and Daniel Gracie.
Nice.
And
now on that, just to interrupt for a second,
sure.
on the belt thing, in jiu-jitsu, when you get a belt, I know the jump from belt to belt. It doesn't seem like there are as many belts in that class. It takes a lot of time to get a belt in that.
It's a coveted belt. It's a jiu-jitsu. These belts are not given out.
No,
we're not. I mean, I'm sure there are some schools that give these belts out, but in general, I know they're. It's 2 to 3 years between belting.
Right.
So you're talking.
What's the hardest jump like in those belts?
I'd say
like white to blue to
I'd say
purple.
the hardest belt to obtain is a blue to purple.
Right, right. So that's something you can't expect to just get in a day. That's something that you have to really spend your time getting. I think I was a blue belt for 2.5 years before I got my purple. And you were solid basically every day. I mean, you were always doing it. This wasn't a joke
all
to you.
the time. I started my jiu-jitsu training when I think I was 38 years old too.
Yeah.
I did some wrestling and little things like that, but we fooled around with different things in judo and stuff. But I think it was 38 years old.
Wow. Nice.
Like I said, it's a very hard belt system, and we do striping now in between belts too down at CCFA. Give guys incentive. Setting goals. So,
well, if it's going to be that long between belts, I guess
sure.
you got to kind of differ. Yeah, whatever. You got to kind of show
different.
Yeah, that's a word. Yeah. You got to kind of give a little bit of show that this one's a little bit more than that one. Just
Right.
But I understand. Yeah. I mean,
it takes a while, and we don't give the belts out. That's for sure, man.
No, my son, he got his blue belt, and that was a tough call. And I remember the statement that you made to him. What was the statement?
I said, "Get used to that belt because you're going to be wearing it for a long time."
Exactly. And Shane's a good kid. He's great kid. I understand. Shane's an understand kid. A lot of people don't have the patience.
We put him in. In like two levels above his, and an Agatur, and he excelled, and he did real well. So we gave him his blue belt. He's been trained. He's a phenomenal wrestler.
Yeah.
So it's but he's going to have that belt for a while, bro.
Yep. So you got your black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu to Daniel Gracie.
Sure.
Right?
Yep, last year.
You're a trainer under crew Mark Delagrati from Sit Yard Tom.
Yes.
Right? You work for Cape Cod Fighting Alliance.
Yep, for Pat Schultz. Yep, I'm a head trainer at Cape Cod Fighting Alliance.
Now, you used to have a day job. You retired because you're old.
Yeah.
And so, not all of us can do that in this day. And us builders and real estate people, we can't afford that.
Listen to this
So we give it to the cranberry pushers, and they can do it. But see, your whole basically life is dedicated to mixed martial arts at this point.
Martial. I had an interview a few years back, and someone asked me how long you've been a mixed martial artist, and this is how I said, I'm a martial artist that happens to fight. When I was fighting, I said I'm a martial artist who happens to fight mixed martial arts. See, I've been a martial artist for 37 years. Okay?
Yep.
I do mixed martial arts. I train in mixed martial arts, but I try to like what I love to train with Mark Delagrati is he's a traditional martial artist who brings integrity and discipline into the school, and that's something that's missing in a lot of the schools nowadays. And I'm not against tattoos and mohawks and stuff like that. I'm hip to selling tickets and all that. But man, you got to be respectful, and we emphasize that down at our school. We try to, keep that in place, in respectfulness and integrity and so forth.
Well, again, now we're back to the belts again, Mike. So here we go. This is the part that the mixed martial arts is basically the putting together of different arts to come up with one form that works inside the cage.
Right.
When I watch you guys, when you're teaching the students at the school, including me when I'm there, you teach each different art. You teach the structure, you teach the foundation of each art, and you do it to the T. You don't, you know, when you're doing gi jiu-jitsu, you do gi jiu-jitsu. You're not mixing the Muay Thai in.
Right.
When you're teaching Muay Thai, you're not teaching another art with it. You're teaching the Muay Thai.
Yeah, we'll do different nights at different things, and then a couple nights a week we throw it all together for mixed martial arts.
Exactly.
I always, my wife drive her crazy when I always say mixed martial arts is the Frankenstein monster. It's a little of this, it's a little of that, it's a little of this, a little of that, and it comes together and gels, and you need all that to come together for the transition.
Well, Michael, if it wasn't for mixed martial arts, I wouldn't be in the ring. I wouldn't have been able to do it. Because I'm not a martial artist. I really am not. I have never perfected or belted or anything in any art. I'm a gorilla that gets into the cage with the knowledge that you guys give me and put together enough to be able to win some fights. Right. That's all I am.
It's a great sport.
It's beautiful. Now, my son, on the other hand, they teach him how to do each individual art. Plus, he's the captain of his wrestling team this year. So they are showing him how to do each different one and then putting them together as one unit.
Exactly. And you know, years ago, 10, 12 years ago, I used to have to train at different gyms, boxing, at a boxing gym, a jiu-jitsu academy, Muay Thai, striking, and so on and so forth. People had to go train at different schools to get the art. Now, with some of the good schools around here, you got it all with the instructors. You got instructors that can teach you the whole gist of everything, from grappling to striking.
Last night, what was it? Last night, I believe I walked in there and Greg Rebello was over in the corner and he was doing the wrestling and the takedown drills and he was doing the cage works against the fence. You got two other guys.
I got a couple of real good stud wrestlers in there right now.
And you're on the floor over there doing jiu-jitsu, teaching some groundwork on the other side. There's other guys doing stand-up over there. There's every part. When there's boxing, you have Kurt come in to teach boxing.
We got
Giuliano Patino from Danny Gracie School. He's in there
straight
teaching
jiu-jitsu. And we got and Muay Thai, which me and Pat take care of, and it's a well-rounded school. And like I said, I was saying to you the other day, where I think there's three major schools in the southeastern part of Massachusetts. You got Lausanne's MMA, great guys, tough guys. You got South Shore Sport Fighting, excellent guys down there. You got CCFA. And then there's a lot of schools hanging a shingle now saying they're MMA and they're traditional martial artists, and then MMA is the thing, and it's you know, I mean, they're trying to get people in there, but there's a lot of guys with no credibility behind it.
So just like the Zumba, you know, you got the schools that are just out there. They're primarily for exercise. They know that it's a fad. They're going to jump on board. They're going to get paid, and then they're going to be gone in a minute, and that's fine.
Listen, here you're making a great point, Mike. Look at it. This is America. Capitalism at its finest. People can do whatever they want. I'm just saying, and I love you saying, buyer beware. I mean, there's a school around this area. You look at the website on it. It's like this guy is he's the best MMA trainer in the whole wide world, and it's like he hasn't had a fighter out there in over 2-3 years. So how could you be the best?
Is this the same guy that lists 5 different of these UFC guys that he's trained with, that have trained at his school, or helped at his school, that have actually shown up one time as a
big
seminar?
Deal.
And then
I mean, I go up to City of Tong and I spar with UFC guys all the time with Crew Mark. I mean,
I think we got one in the house. So we got a UFC guy in the house.
Cristian Morecraft's downstairs ready to get interviewed. You know what I mean? So what I'm trying to say is, what have your coaches done? You got to go to the lineage. What's the lineage? And I'm not even putting myself in this position. I'm talking about the guys from South Shore Sport Fighting. Listen, Scott Lockhart, Bill Mahoney, those guys are
Joe
Lazone, veterans. They were fighting in open hand competition years ago, dude. These are legit coaches,
right?
All right, that have gotten in there and done it. And I always say,
and you do got to put yourself in this competition.
Well, you know,
you've been, like you said, you've been training forever. You did your mixed martial arts career, and you've also done a ton of other, you know.
Oh, I've done tons of Naga tournaments. Right. I've done karate tournaments back in the day when it was full contact fighting.
In the back room, when you're sitting down with the fighter, when you're getting him ready to bring him out into the ring, what happens?
Listen, I've seen people lose fights in the back room. I've seen students and people talk themselves out of wins, because fighting is a mental game. I want to say it's 60-40. It's mental. And if you don't have a coach that's been in there and can look at you and go, hey, I've been here before, I know what you're going through, blah, 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 blah. You can prepare a fighter, but in the back room, fights are won and lost in the back room because of the mental attitude of a fighter. And I want my students can look at me and go, hey, Mike's been in there and he knows. That's important.
They need to have confidence in you. They need to know you've been there, you know what it's like.
Exactly. And these guys that are hanging the MMA shingle out there and say, we're the best MMA school around, right? They never even entered a cooking contest. So how can they get in and teach the student the mental aspect of the game? Right. Cut and dry, bro.
They don't know what's inside their head.
Cut and dry.
All right, folks, listen, this is what it's all about. This is what this show is all about. Mike Lobo Gresh, he's been there, he's done it, he's a trainer, he's a great guy. There's a lot of other people out there just like him, and there are a lot of fakes out there. On this show, you're going to find out from the fighters what it's like to be in the ring, what it's like to win, to lose, to draw, just every aspect of their life. You're going to hear from coaches, you're going to hear from doctors, you're going to hear from referees. It's going to be a great show. This is our first one. I want to thank Michael Lobo Gresh for being here.
Thanks, Hammer.
Again, CCFA. Thanks for coming to another Fireside Chat with Michael, the Hammer Mulligan. Hey folks, here we are for another Fireside Chat with Michael, the Hammer Mulligan, and Christian Morecraft.
Speak of the devil.
Oh yeah, there he is.
Thanks for having me, Mike.
All right, Christian, what's up, man?
Nothing. I got a little bit of an injury. I got like a pinched nerve. Something's wrong with my leg, sciatic nerve. I don't know. I wasn't listening to the doctor. He was telling me this, that, and the other thing. Basically, I need a little bit of time. About a month, 5 weeks, healing, walking, just no ampage. And I'm doing that here on Cape Cod with my family and friends.
Where else?
That's right.
Awesome. So, Christian, for the people in Plymouth that don't know that much about mixed martial arts, give them a lowdown. Tell them where you came from, how you started, how you got into this a little bit.
All right, well, I moved here from North Dakota. My dad was in the Air Force. My dad had 4 kids. We were never supervised or anything like that. Was always getting in trouble, always listening to the metal, doing this, doing that, you know what I mean? I never had, people always told me to go play football, play hockey, you should wrestle. Didn't want to listen to anybody. I finally started lifting. A year after that, I found myself in the best shape of my life at that point. And I just joined the Dungeons Mixed Martial Arts Academy.
Nice.
And just kind of started from there. 4 years later, I'm at the...
You're at the pinnacle.
At the pinnacle.
You're in the UFC.
Just trying to keep staying there and keep up in the game.
Now, your physical appearance has changed quite a bit since I knew you. I mean, you're always in great shape. But what have you had to change to get into that shape?
Oh, just your lifestyle, the eating. It can still be better. You know what I mean? Nobody's perfect. You can always be better. But just, you know what I mean? Just regiment and working out and just being healthy and taking care of thinking about your health.
Yep.
Taking care of your,
exactly.
You know.
Yep.
You're taking care of you. You are your own temple. It's you. You have to live with yourself forever. You know, things happen in life. You get dealt cards. Sometimes you just got to play that 2-7 and get beat. You know what I mean?
Well, you're doing awesome, though. I mean, listen, you are, to me, like, I was a kid growing up here in Plymouth, you know, close to the Cape. I do my thing. I got in trouble as a kid. I did all that. I often think that now, if I had this sport when I was that age, what would I be? And I always say to myself, Christian has basically the same tools, the same size, everything. This is what I would hope to be when I was his age. If they had it then, this is what I would hope to be. He's come a long way since I met him. He made some tough choices to get where he is now, you know, and that was a smart move on his part to get out of here, to go do what he had to do to make himself a better person.
The cost of living here in Plymouth, Massachusetts, and Cape Cod is ridiculous. It costs a fraction to live out in upstate New York. I know it's not.
It costs less in New York?
Oh, upstate it does, for
Really?
sure, yeah. This house would be $200,000.
Really?
Yeah.
Who knew?
Instead, it's a $500,000 house here, just because you got sand and salt water.
Wow, wow.
You know?
So what are they getting in upstate New York?
Cornell College, yeah.
Is it really fun?
Yeah. And dairy farms and Christian Morecraft.
There you go, the beast. Now, what is your, speaking of that, now I've come up with a lot in my head. I mean, I remember calling you the Lumberjack. You never got a nickname.
Nope, they call me the World of Warcraft.
I love that.
I don't like it so much because I'm not a video game guy, but when I find a good one, maybe like the Hammer.
The Hammer's good.
Christian the Hammer Mulligan.
Anvil, remember? What was that?
That's
Brett
right, yeah.
Anvil?
No, it was Jim the Anvil Neidhart.
Neidhart.
Jim, he had the...
Oh, that's right, yeah. He was awesome. Yeah. There's a lot of them out there.
Yeah, back to what Mike said, I didn't, I had things that were going on in my life. They gave me 6 months suspension after losing to Mr. Struve.
No, what was that for? Your head because it was
Yeah, exactly. They do that.
Yep.
And you can get medically cleared if you want to before that, but I just wanted the time to train. I had to figure out what was going on. I lived with Mike Gresh, one of my best friends and coaches, and I got the offer to come live in upstate New York for free, which I really needed. And so I did it. It had nothing to do with me going to a better camp or me, you know what I mean? Sometimes in life, things happen.
Well, you just need to go somewhere alone.
Yeah.
You need to go get away.
Right, yeah, to the mountains. Yeah, exactly.
I'm with you. That was kind of like in Rocky, man, when he took off the Russia and he up at the top of the mountain.
Absolutely. I'm pumped to be here, though. Going fishing with Gretch at 4:30.
Oh, in the morning. Nice. Folks, thanks for coming for another fireside chat with Michael the Hammer Mulligan and Christian Morecraft. Come up with a nickname for this guy.
It's an honor to be here.
Ooh, yeah. Fireside.